What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is After Review. I'm your host, Peter. Joining me this week is my man, Matt. And we're going right into it. I'm about to roll the tape, ladies and gentlemen. September 8th, 2020. We're rolling the tape. And the GOAT gets another one. You hear that, folks?
The
From
almighty
me.
seven.
The almighty seven. Seven. Too bad there's going to be no fans. A home Super Bowl with no fans. I think I was wrong on that one. I just rolled it. I said home Super Bowl with no fans, but there was some fans there. But 7 for the GOAT, Tom Brady. Give me 7. I know our boy Terrell is very sad, Matt, but I'm very upset. I bitched out last week. I could have taken him. I should have taken him. I've been riding with Tampa all year. I've been riding with Tampa through the playoffs. I said it was going to be a close game. I was wrong in that aspect. It was not a close game.
Very wrong.
Whatsoever. So, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the obvious answer here is Tampa's front 6 was just too dominant for, 2 backup tackles for the Kansas City Chiefs, and obviously Patrick Mahomes. You could just tell he wasn't comfortable all night. Even when he did have a clean pocket, he was perceiving, pressure that wasn't really there, and he was not comfortable all night. Ran for 500 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
That's the best. That's the best stat.
That's a wild stat to just concede that. I don't know what a normal amount is. I'm sure it's less than 60, 70 yards probably, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe you get to 200 in a good, in a game, with a mobile quarterback, maybe a guy who rolls outside the pocket a little bit.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. And Mike Rimmers and, not having Mitchell Schwartz, Eric Fisher, that hurts a lot, especially with Patrick Mahomes. You got 2 dudes at tackle who are just solid as a rock for you. Yeah, I mean,
we kind of hit the nail on the head. We talked about it. I don't think we thought it would be this big of a deal.
Oh no.
But we also couldn't perceive that Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy would just not have any sort of game plan whatsoever. They ran 5 protection, so base protection, no help, no chips, no none of that. 95% of the plays. Are you insane right now? You knew you didn't have both your tackles, and you didn't think of anything to help out your quarterback and protection wise. I mean, Jesus, Mike Remmers is trash, ex-Viking. He's the guy that got abused by Von Miller in Super Bowl 50. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy had a game plan in their mind, and they're like, we're not going to deviate from it no matter what. Well, at a certain point, you got Todd Bowles on the other side. Whether he's a good head coach or not, he's an incredible defensive coordinator.
Facts.
And we've talked about that before. Some people are just coordinators. And he came out with that game plan, and he's like, we're gonna have Jason Pierre-Paul, Ndamukong Suh, and Shaq Barrett, and just these dudes get after your tackles because we don't think they're any good. We think our players are better than your players.
We're not going to play man. We're going to sit in too high safety, and you're not beating us over the top, and we're going to make you go on 10, 12 play drives to go get touchdowns. And we're going to hopefully limit the scoring a little bit. 10, 12 play drives take up some time, and you keep the scoring modest, and then you let your offense do your thing. But again, Kansas City refused to run the ball. I mean, they started running it in the second half, but it was almost a little too late then. I didn't understand why they weren't running the ball. Mahomes was 1 of 7 to open the game, and he 6 straight incompletions.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to start running the ball. I don't understand what their game plan was. This was so anti-adjustment, Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe we saw why Eric Bieniemy's not getting head coaching offers. I hate to say that because I heard some things that people liked him people liked him in his interviews. He wasn't having bad interviews. He just wasn't giving detailed plans on what he was doing, what he was going to do with each team. And maybe that was over interviewing. There's 10 teams he's talking to. I can't have a detailed plan for each team. But maybe he's not a guy that's very detail oriented because Jesus Christ, they looked horrible on offense.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to specifically place the blame, I think, because like you said, who really knows who's doing what offensively with them? Either way, you got 2 guys who are, considered to be offensive geniuses, right? Mm-hmm. And you refuse to, like you said, just commit to running the football. Just run the football, dude. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Is it Darrell Williams or Damian Williams?
It's Darrell Williams this year. Damian opted out.
Yeah. I mean, you got 2 guys who are serviceable starting running backs. One's a rookie. Run the ball. You gotta at least test them.
They're giving it to you. They're giving you 4 or 5 yards a pop.
They're daring you.
Yes.
They're daring you to run the ball. And I don't know, man. I was very disappointed with the game plan there. I just wanted a good game. Didn't really care who won, to be honest with you. But yeah, just disappointing from the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think Obviously Tyrann Mathieu talking trash to Tom Brady is not going to help either. I'm sure we're going to jump into that.
But love
yeah, I don't know.
You love to see it. It was great because he was talking trash before. So it was the big incident before the half with Brady and Mathieu were getting to his face, but there was clips of them talking shit beforehand. And somebody texted Stephen A. Smith from a Patriots like, "Why they just poked a bear? Honey Badger just poked a bear, and the Bear's gonna win that one." You do not agitate Tom Brady ever.
No,
just let him be.
No, just don't. Yeah,
just let Tom be Tom. Like, just don't poke the bear. He's the most frightened. And then Terrell over here. I was watching the game with Terrell, which was interesting, and he was like, You can't be afraid of him. I'm going to tell my boy to be afraid of him. I'm like, no, you can talk shit to anybody. You don't talk anything to Mr. Brady. Yes, sir, Mr. Brady. You don't say anything to him. Just ignore him. Just let your play do the talking. It's just there's certain guys, there's like two of them. Just don't, because only bad things happen. I've never seen anything good ever happen to anybody talking shit to Tom Brady.
He literally lives for it. Like that's he wants you to.
We saw him in a Super Bowl down 28-3 throw a pick six and a Falcon guy walk over to him and talk shit to him and like as he's trying to help him up or whatever, and we saw what happened. It's just a disaster. So why do you do this? Do not give this man, and you talk about this, it's bulletin board material, and it's like mid-game bulletin board material.
He perceives the slightest thing. It's kind of like a Michael Jordan type of thing.
It's almost. It's probably worse than Michael Jordan. He might make shit up like Jordan did.
Yeah, and everything's a slight, and like the dude just, like I would never. He's top of the list. I would never say anything to him during a game because I know he's just gonna go, fuck this guy. I'm gonna win this game now.
Yeah,
because of you.
Yes,
like you were gonna lose this game for your team. Yeah.
Just crazy. It was so bad. But the Bucs Byron Leftwich and the Bucs offense had a really good game plan. They moved the ball at will. Kansas City's terrible secondary. Oh, God. You can say what you want about the refs. You couldn't cover anybody. Guys were running wide open on the back end.
Yeah.
And
Tyrann Mathieu on AB just.
Oh, my God.
Tyrann Mathieu as much as the next guy. Not. Kind of in the facet of Jamal Adams,
He's not a coverage. He's a ball nose to. He's got a better nose for the ball than Jamal Adams because he actually picks people off. But again, he's 5'8", 5'9", and he drew the PI in the end zone on Mike Evans. Now you can say that ball wasn't catchable because Brady kind of threw it out of the back of the end zone, but he kind of reacted like I'm 5'8", 5'9", and I got to guard 6'4" Mike Evans. And then he gets AB the next play, and AB ran the nastiest whip route I've seen in a long time.
Oh, it was disgusting. In real time, obviously, it was incredible. Obviously, anytime you watch something in slow motion, it makes it look 10 times worse for the defender, right?
Yes.
But the way his footwork. Say what you want about AB, incredible football player. So fun to watch. I know he was
he was a good boy
marching his way to the Hall of Fame before all that crazy stuff happened. May still be in. I don't know, but. A clinic,
Life comes at you fast sometimes, but think about a year ago at the Super Bowl, they said he was literally being arraigned in a courthouse in a suicide vest, so he didn't kill him, it was on suicide watch, was in a jail cell, and then he won the Super Bowl, a year later. That's wild to think about.
Very wild.
And we called this too. Gronk and AB were the mismatches here. They didn't have anybody to cover Gronk, and I knew that was going to be a problem. Chiefs kind of undersold it. It's Gronk. Gronk's old man. Gronk was a young man on Sunday.
Yeah, it's almost like they had been hiding him a little bit throughout the season. Watch this, we're going to use him in the Super Bowl now.
Of course.
Kind of like with AB. We talked about it. It was really, this team was stacked. They just needed someone like Tom Brady. Who knows how to win and who can distribute the football and who doesn't turn the ball over.
But
crazy.
To be fair, I heard that stat. I had, playing the podcast from September. They had 41 turnovers with Jameis the year before, and the last team to do that was the 0-16 Browns. So it was we said, if they could just cut the turnovers down, they're going to win football games. But the guys who really contributed late in big spots were the guys Brady brought in. I mean, Brady won GM of the Year, brought in Gronk, brought in AB. Bruce Arians did not want Antonio Brown. He was a big help to that team, especially when they were struggling in November. And then Lenny, we got playoff Lenny. Fournette had a monster game. We said easiest bet of the Super Bowl was Fournette over 47 yards.
Yeah, I mean, what a 1-2 punch for them too. By the way, Ronald Jones, Ron John down there. Looks like when he gets in, he looks like he's exploded out of a cannon. And not a good pirate joke there.
Shiver me timbers.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Just a good football team. Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't surprising to me that they won. I think I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I said it wouldn't surprise me if Tampa won. But yeah, man.
It was just so dominant. Nobody saw the Chiefs scoring 9 points. The defense was lights out, obviously. The offense didn't make any adjustments for Kansas City. And really, I felt the whole game came down to right before the half. The Chiefs kicked a field goal. It was 14-6. It was an 8-point game. They were getting the ball out of the half. And it was like, okay, just take it to half. And they called the timeout on first down, and I was sitting there, like, what are you doing? And Charles was like, no, we're going to get the ball back. Like, we have to. We're the Chiefs. We have to go for them. Like, it's an 8-point game. You're acting like it's a 3-touchdown game. Like, you need scores. You're literally going to get the ball down a score coming out of this. And then it's 2nd and 9, and then they break one off for 8 yards or whatever, so it's 3rd and 1, and they call another timeout. It's like, what are you doing? Just let the clock run. Concede the first down. They're probably going to pick this up, and they're just going to take it to half. Like, the Buccaneers are going to be all good going to the half up 14-6. And you would have said you played the worst first half that you've played in ever under Pat Mahomes. And you call a timeout, and I'm like, this is a mistake. You're giving them time. And then they pick up the first down. Then Tampa takes a timeout. They get the pass interference call on Mike Evans, which was an easy PI call. The DB got toasted and took out Mike Evans' legs. Just
the streak route?
And it was like the same route that they ran against Green Bay. It was like literally the exact same thing, but they ran it to Mike Evans. And it's like,
so with Scotty Miller. Gotcha.
Yeah. And it's like, you're clueless. Kansas City was clueless on defense. They jumped off sides earlier in the game on the field goal that led to a touchdown.
Yep.
It was just all sorts of just disastrous, stupid plays on defense. And you let them score a touchdown right before the half, suck all the momentum out of the team. And it felt like that was it at that point.
Yeah, a lot of self-inflicted wins first half. Sound like that's a good football coach term right there. Yeah, I mean, you can't. I get the DB's perspective, like it's give up the touchdown or give up the penalty. I kind of understand. I can't really tell if he just like actually fell and just like
no. It looked like he was going down and took out his legs on purpose.
Yeah. So first of all, just don't get beat like that.
Exactly. Scoot back.
He's not a burner. He's not a burner like that, right? Like, what does he run, like a 4.6 or something?
I don't know. He's just going to body. I mean, he'll stretch the field and just body your ass.
Yeah. And so you can't do that. You definitely can't. On special teams, you cannot be offsides on a field goal. Like, he's probably going to make it anyways. Just let him kick it.
It wasn't that far of a field goal. It was like 46 yards or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you give them the ball back. They scored a touchdown, right?
Yeah, they gave him a first down. They went down and scored a touchdown.
Yeah, and then you have that, whether you agree with it or not, was that the first half or the second half one with Tyrann Mathieu?
That was the first half. That was the score right before the half that led to the touchdown.
The one with Gronk?
Right? No, the one with AB. He drew the PI. He drew the PI on Mike Evans and then the touchdown to AB. Yeah. That was right before the half, and that led to the whole shit-talking thing where they got into it with each other.
Yeah, and so, Chiefs defense let him down. Chiefs offensive line let him down. I think Travis Kelce had his numbers.
Oh, my God. Travis Kelce, probably the worst Super Bowl ever for somebody who got over 100 yards. So the defense actually gave him a goal line stand. They forced a fumble, essentially, but he was down early. But Ronald Jones was worried about it. They go for it on 4th and 1. He doesn't really have the ball up high. He's on super protect mode because he kind of lost the ball on 3rd down. Yeah. I would have ran Fournette there, or thrown the ball. And they got a huge stop. They knocked the ball out of an offensive lineman's hand on 2nd down that was in the end zone for a touchdown. And it was like, okay, let's just get something going here on offense. And they have 3rd and 7, and Travis Kelce drops a ball he catches 99 out of 100 times.
Yep.
So what do you do? Like, again, more self-inflicted wounds. And nobody gives shit to Kelce about that. Like, oh, he's our dog. I'm taking Kelce ever. It's like, dude, he made the biggest drop. It was a very easy catch in a huge spot where your team when they needed a first down to keep it was still only, I think it was only 7-0 at that point, or 7-3.
Yeah. And it felt like you didn't really get anything out of Tyreek Hill, who had 2 catches, right?
2 catches.
30 yards.
Yeah, 2 catches, nothing.
he never got started, and I'm sure that was kind of Todd Bowles' game plan, just to bracket him all game. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
Just not that was a do not let him go for 270 like he did the first game.
Yeah, and because it's not like Tampa's secondary is unreal or anything. Their safeties are good, but their corners are kind of suspect.
No,
but,
they're average. Yeah, they're very average corners.
Yeah, and so it was kind of like, we're going to give you Travis Kelce, and we're going to dare you to run. Like, we're going to give you the little, like, 10 yards, comeback route or 10-route option routes to Travis Kelce. We're going to give you those, but we're not going to let you beat us over the top, like you said.
And it showed all those other studs, like, Sammy Watkins, Robinson, Pringle, all these other guys. Like, look at all these other studs we have. Those guys are trash in big game. Like, you're not. Sammy Watkins. Oh, this was going to be his big game. He had 13 yards. Ooh.
Yeah. That shocks me. It's kind of like he just fell off. I don't know if he's just kind of washed at this point or what his deal is. He just came off an injury, correct?
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It was just very underwhelming. I know it's the two tackles, but if you're such a good coach, you should be able to make a game plan around that, right?
Yeah.
And it felt like Andy refused, or Eric Bieniemy refused to do that. And so, yeah. It showed.
It definitely showed. And Mahomes, I mean, say what you want, he hasn't played. Andy Reid and that offense has not been good in 2 Super Bowls. I mean, Mahomes had 1 quarter against the Niners, but they got worked for 3 quarters. So basically, you could say for 7 quarters out of 8, they've been completely worked by other defenses on offense. Mahomes played okay. I don't think Mahomes played bad. He was great late. I mean, good God. The throws he was making on the run, horizontal to the ground, nothing on the ground. And just imagine throwing the ball 30, 40 yards. I mean, he had the first one in the first half on 3rd down, hit Tyreek Hill in the face. And, I know the defender put his hands in his face and it kind of made it harder to catch. But still, Mahomes was rolling to his left and threw it on a rope. And then at the end of the game, hit Darrell Williams in the face mask again, horizontal to the ground, 30 yards downfield on a line. Mahomes was playing. He was throwing. He was running for his life. But it shows. Maybe people get some appreciation for offensive line because that made Mahomes look human. Everyone said like Mahomes is unhuman, and a terrible offensive line made him look more than human.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. It's hard to find, especially nowadays with you don't pad up anymore in the NFL. It's hard to find elite offensive line talent in the draft now, which is probably a good thing for the overall health of these players in the trenches. But there's no like ones versus ones anymore, really, in the NFL. And if you do, you're an idiot like Matt Patricia, and you get fired after 3 years. And you just don't see that anymore. There's just not elite. There's not elite talent. There's like 2 or 3 guys in each draft who are truly elite, and then you have serviceable guys that you interchange after 2 or 3 years, and then you ship them off. There's just
it's getting better. There was an issue there with the disparity between offenses in college and offenses in the NFL. Like they did not look anything alike for a minute there. They're starting to move a little bit closer to kind of transferring skill sets with RPOs, stuff like that. But yeah, offensive line, you need the most time to prepare. You need the most practices to get comfortable because like it's literally a unit. Like people don't really understand. It's a 5-man unit, and every piece has to work perfectly together, or if one person messes up, it's bad. Same thing on defense, but you can kind of make up for it, here and there on the back end. The quarterback could miss a receiver. Like, there's no chance a defender is missing the gap here to sack the quarterback or blow up a run play, So you have to get the timing down. You need continuity with, pick up protection, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And so,
there's just a sense of, like, when you're on offense, there's a level of comfort. Like the guy next to me, I know he knows what he's doing because I've played with him for 16 games a season or the past 3 seasons. And just to like ship it just around the league, like the Cowboys offense looks nothing like it did 3 years ago. 3 years ago, because you lose Travis Frederick, you lose Tyron Smith's not elite anymore. La'el Collins is hurt, Zach Martin's hurt, and it's just they look very average now. It's just there's a sense of continuity. It's a very cerebral position that I feel like doesn't get the credit it deserves because there's, like you said, there's a lot of preparation that people don't understand. Like, if they're in a certain front, like you do this on this play, and then what if they start this way, then you do this, and it's just they just look very overwhelmed in the game.
And it's fun. It's like it's nice. You've been listening to Chiefs fans forever. Like they complain about the littlest stuff. It's like, oh look, you're back down to earth with the rest of us peasants with no offensive line play, and you look horrible. Like, yeah, how do you think Deshaun Watson feels or Kirk Cousins feels playing behind zero offensive lines and putting up the numbers they put up? So, yeah, Mahomes got to learn. And Mahomes did look a little young there. He went back to some bad habits young guys go to.
Yep.
Like, kind of bailing early. Yeah, just it's not good. I don't love the narrative now that because Mahomes has not looked good in 2 Super Bowls. I think we can say that fairly. He was unbelievable for one quarter, and it was really because the Niners forgot to cover Tyreek Hill on 3rd and 15. Like, if they don't convert that against the Niners, they lose that Super Bowl with a bad performance.
Fair.
So you're worried. He's on track with Russell Wilson right now for the same start. The only difference is Mahomes has won an MVP. Russell, infamously, no votes again. But
again.
First year knocked out of the playoffs, second year won a Super Bowl, third year lost in the Super Bowl to Tom Brady. Very funny. Tom Brady, still the last person to repeat. And he's ended multiple dynasties. Just
Giant killer.
Tom Brady, just he ends dynasties before they can even begin, which is hilarious. So, yeah. Do we think so? What are we looking forward next year? I did love another stat. Antoine Winfield, 67 plays in coverage, 2 targets, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup on his 2 targets, throwing at Antoine Winfield Jr. So shout out to the kid right there. Total shutdown.
Yeah, have yourself a day.
Have yourself a day.
Ultimate petty in your face move too. That's an all timer.
Well, did you see? Well, no, he got him back because you saw obviously you saw that Tyreek threw him the deuce in the first game.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's the ultimate troll job. Like that's elite right there. I loved it.
I know. I was laughing at it first, and then when I saw it, it was like, oh yeah, there's history. Those who don't know, Tyreek Hill likes to throw up the peace sign, even though he's supposed to get flagged for doing it. But he didn't get flagged when he did it. He threw up the peace sign, toasting Antoine Winfield Jr. So then on a 4th down, I think it was an incomplete on a 4th down, Antoine Winfield went up to him and threw up the peace sign.
And I think Tyreek wasn't super upset about it either. I think he was laughing, right?
Yeah, he kind of throw the flag or whatever. Tyreek actually behaved himself unlike everybody else on that Chiefs team. Yeah. I saw,
Hey, if you can dish it, you got to take it. That's all I'm going to say.
Exactly. And at that point, you were taking the L. I could see the overreactions. But, again, I don't want to speculate too hard because all game the Chiefs were – I was just like, they're trying to get a flag here because, like, the D-line would hit somebody late or shove somebody or get up in somebody's face after a tackle. And we saw that. Yeah. The Chiefs picked up a couple unsportsmanlikes doing stuff like that. Do we think maybe the whole Andy Reid son situation played a major factor? I know they're never going to say it, but it kind of maybe messed with them mentally.
I think having that, especially in the biggest game of any sport in the United States, especially for a football player, that's the biggest game they'll ever play in. You don't want any outside distractions,
especially late in the week. Like that, late in the week,
coach's son too,
who's already been in jail apparently.
Yep.
For drinking and driving.
The most wild thing to me is Andy Reid is, comes off as, I don't know him personally. Everything I've ever seen about him, great guy.
Great person, yeah.
Incredible. It seems like his kids just are shitheads, and I don't know, man. Like, obviously that had to affect Andy for sure. Like, he can say it didn't. It affected him, and I'm sure it affected the team, and it wouldn't surprise me if that played a little bit into their game day. That was 2 days before game day, right?
Yeah, it was 2 days before they left. It was on Thursday, and it was they were leaving the facility. He had one son die from a drug overdose, while he's with the Eagles, and this son now had previously been arrested for drinking or whatever, and then it looks like he's going to be in jail for a long time. Brain damage to one of the people in the car, a small child,
which is infant, right?
Yeah, not good.
It's horrible.
Yeah, not good whatsoever. So it definitely had to weigh on them. They didn't look like the Chiefs that have normally looked coming out. Yeah. So that's a whole thing. Everybody's got their demons. It just goes to show, like, everyone, like, oh, Andy Reid's life's been amazing. The last 12 months or so, won a Super Bowl, everything's going good, and, like, not everything goes good for, it's just a little bit of a reality check for everybody. So, it's just not a good situation. I think that definitely had an impact on them. But moving forward, do we like the Bucs to repeat?
Man, I mean, it's kind of hard to say no, right? But
it's also hard to say yes.
Yeah, exactly, because you got to account for, because it's kind of like this could very well be a Philadelphia Eagles type of vibe. It's like, are they still hungry?
That's always a question. Are
Yeah,
the guys
we
on the
already know. We know Tom Brady's hungry. We know that. Like, he always will be until he retires.
That's the ultimate thing right there, I think. Brady is always hungry. I don't know what satisfies this man anymore. No. It's amazing to think about. Like, there was a video of him in the locker room, everybody celebrating. He's just like casually taking his clothes off, sitting in his locker, getting undressed, and everyone else is partying still. And it's like, this is nothing to this man. It's like, what motivates him at this point? He always is hungry. So I think that's a big help. How about the pandemic? Interesting to see like what camps look like, coming around, what the off season looks like. Because if it's more shut down, not people can't do stuff, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, offensive line is going to be good again. Tristan Wirfs, they stayed healthy pretty much the whole season, I think. So that's always a plus. Tristan Wirfs,
your stud of the draft.
That was a huge hit for them. Jason Light, underrated GM. I think he finally got it right with Bruce Arians and got his guys in there. And, Ali Marpet, he drafted him. I think you drafted Jensen too, the center. And, I mean, if they stay healthy, continuity, I know Mike said he's going to renegotiate his deal to keep people around.
Godwin's a free agent, but Bruce Arians said you're not going anywhere. Guys take less money when you win a Super Bowl.
AB's going to take less money. He likes winning, I think. Scotty Miller, he won't command a lot of money. I mean, Leonard Fournette probably going to stay around unless he's stupid.
Gronk, I don't know if Gronk might retire, would be the only thing, but who knows? They still get they can get OJ Howard back. People forget OJ Howard's still on that team. He's still very good.
Yeah, they have 3 really serviceable tight ends. Cameron Brate, very underrated. OJ Howard's obviously very talented. I mean, the only thing that's going to keep me from saying it's going to be like Philadelphia is obviously Tom Brady. So, in the South, the NFC South, not particularly good again. Right?
No, they should win the division easily next year. The Falcons are the Falcons. Who knows if they're keeping Matt Ryan and Julio? New coach. The Saints are losing Drew Brees and they're in cap hell. I love the scummy Saints. You see, they renegotiated Drew Brees' deal because they know he's going to retire, so it saves them like $30 million in cap.
Really? No, yes. I did not see that.
Yeah, they completely renegotiated his deal to like nothing, and like no guarantee. Like all the guarantees have already been paid now. And it's like his cap hit, because it was going to be a huge cap hit when he retires, because you still got to pay that money because he's under contracts technically. And so they renegotiated it to like a 1-year like no money deal, and so that helped them a lot. But they're in absolute cap hell. I don't know how they're going to get out of it. Still, they were $90 million going in, and then the Panthers. You got Teddy, serviceable. That's like a 7-8 win team maybe with McCaffrey back. But they should win the division. The defense is only going to get better. They're all young guys. If they can keep them around, they have a couple of free agents on the defense too. But the back end, those safeties, they're young. They're going to get better. The front seven's nasty. Just keep them around. You do got to say the playoffs are – you never know in the playoffs, right? Like, what are we going to see out of Green Bay? Who the hell knows? Like, I always early sell teams' demises. I've been selling the Saints' demise forever. But – Green Bay. How does Aaron Rodgers feel in Green Bay? Like, he's pissy.
Yeah. How does Russell Wilson not happy in Seattle?
Yeah, Russell's been going on the Bash tour lately. He kind of sounds like he wants out. So again,
shocking because he's very
Go Hawks. He's Mr. Go Hawks.
He's a company man. Like so. How are they going to do with kind of the controversy going on there? Like he doesn't like being hit all the time, which I don't blame him. It's kind of got an Andrew Luck kind of vibe. Like he's never been hurt like Andrew Luck, but I don't think dude's like getting just walloped every game.
And there's the offensive, like they had the whole offensive like non-cohesion. That's why they fired Schottenheimer. It was a whole thing. It's a whole thing in Seattle that doesn't good on Seattle where things really don't get out, but it seems like it's a really toxic situation right now between everybody.
Yeah, and I just Seattle would never let him go. I don't think. I think they will do what's right, hopefully, because he has made them relevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously the Rams have a good NFC West is going to be good next year.
Yeah.
Probably best division of football again.
We don't know. Who knows what Jimmy G and the Niners look like, if the Niners even keep Jimmy G. I'm still not sold on Cliff Kingsbury at all.
Yeah. You got two solid teams there. Rams, Sean McVay. Seattle should, Russell Wilson's there. Like, they'll be a good football team. We go 9-7 at least, I'm sure. You just got your players in the NFC. It's kind of like same old guys besides Saints. The Saints are just out now, I think. Who knows?
Yeah, the Saints are
Jameis
toast.
starts for them. Yeah.
The NFC, Jameis is a free agent too. He's only got a 1 year deal. The NFC East is a goddamn dumpster fire at quarterback right now. Yeah. Since Wentz is saying, I still want out, still trade me.
Yeah.
Dak's coming back. That's probably the biggest thing. If the Cowboys sign him, who the hell knows what the Cowboys are going to do?
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of good things about his second surgery. He's way ahead of schedule, apparently. They always say that. His agent is paid to say that, basically. So, I mean, this is said every single year. I'm not going to say that what everyone's going to think I'm going to say, but it should be a cakewalk for the Cowboys. Right?
So that means it's going to come down to the last game, obviously.
Yeah. And so, with a competent coaching staff, I'm not sold on Mike McCarthy. The Giants,
Danny Fumbles over there, and then Washington just re-signed Heineke. Are we going to trust Heineke? Yeah. I mean, they did a great job this year, but quarterback play is going to be the limiting factor of that team because the defense is going to be great.
Yeah. So. The Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not sold on.
Nobody's sold on Hurts. It's Hurts.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't really give a shit about coaches being good on the podium. I'll be honest.
That was a bad opener.
Yeah, can he fucking coach or not? That's what I care about.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think it gets a lot of pub because it's in Philadelphia, kind of like Adam Gase in New York. Like, you got those Northeast guys who are just ruthless, journalist wise. So. Can he stand up to the pressure in Philadelphia? I don't know.
Well, he's kind of. It feels like he's the puppet. He's a puppet of the puppet masters on the backside. Why? That's why Peterson left. But people. To be fair, everyone ripped Dan Campbell in Detroit biting kneecaps off, which was a whole other thing.
I was listening to what's that guy that's always on Cowherd's show? He played for the Bengals. He's got that really crazy last name.
TJ Houshmandzadeh?
Yeah, he was on a podcast with another wide receiver. They have like their own show now or something. He was talking bad trash about Dan Campbell. Said he's like a fraud and like a clown, and like I used to light him up when we played. I was like, whoa.
Okay, so, cool. There's lots of coaches who aren't great players, but
basically like he's a fraud. Like he's just soft. And, like so, I was like, I don't know, man. Like I've heard a lot of good things about Dan Campbell, but. NFC North kind of up in the air. Yeah, like you said, is Aaron Rodgers really happy? So, the Vikings going to come back? Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I have no idea what we're doing there. Kirk Cousins might be on the move. Who the hell knows? The Bears don't have a quarterback. It's interesting. There's a lot. Tampa has to be the favorite. I think they're second behind Green Bay, and I think they were third or fourth overall in most things. Chiefs are the favorite again, which – a little shocking to me, especially since Herbert is officially going to be Herbert is going to be better next year, and Herbert's in the division. That's two tough games a year. The Chargers are talented.
Chargers have always felt like they've had a talented team, and it's always been down to is the owner willing to spend the money on coach is good enough. I don't even know. It's the Rams DC, right?
So
he literally walked across the hallway.
Yeah, everyone was like, oh no, because he got lit up the week before by Aaron Rodgers. Like, how good is this guy? And it's like, well, Aaron Donald wasn't healthy, and it was like, well, you can't rely on a defense to have like a pass rush up the middle every week. And it's like, when your team is built around Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey basically, and both played bad, or one was hurt and the other, Jalen Ramsey, I don't know, was in his own head again against Devontae Adams. So
yeah, well, the argument could be made. It's like, if you're dependent on two Hall of Famers to be a good defense, right?
Yeah.
And is Dean Spanos just being a cheap ass? Because it always seems like he's just being a cheap ass. Like he just hires the cheapest guy.
He's just like he wasn't the cheapest guy. Relatively looking at some of the head coaches that got hired this year, but those are other situations. He's a young guy. People think he's good and talented. People like young. I don't know why you wouldn't go offense with your young quarterback, but that's neither here nor there. So It should be interesting. I could easily see Brady repeating, and then does Brady ever? I don't ever see Tom Brady retiring because like if he wins a Super Bowl, he's not going to retire. He's like, I can still do this. And then if he loses, he's like, I'm going to keep doing this. Like I need to win.
Yeah. I may have some damn kids before he retires. That's what it feels like. Hopefully not. But
yeah, Jesus, we might be older. We're gonna be older than Tom Brady was, when he left New England, when he went to Tampa. By the time he retires,
yeah, it's nuts, man. So yeah, like there's an easy argument to be made that Tampa Bay could, not necessarily cakewalk, but NFC South isn't as bad as AFC East used to be, but
it could be, it could be easier than it was this year, and they got hot at the right time. I did see this stat. You ready for this crazy stat?
Hit me.
So, since I don't know how long ago, I don't know the exact year, but starting with buys in week 8, so the last 5 or 6 years, the team that had a bye week 8 won the Super Bowl. Team with bye week 9 won the Super Bowl. Then week 10, week 11, week 12, and then this year week 13 bye, Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. So 6 straight years, like consecutive buys, have won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So there's no bye week 14. Are we going to reset now? Like a week 8 bye is going to win next year? But I thought that was
that's a crazy stat.
It's interesting because you always say you kind of want that week 8, week 9 bye, but really the later buys have been beneficial the last 2 or 3 years to teams, which makes sense. Wow. I mean, Tampa Bay was running out of gas and they got the bye at the perfect time.
Yeah,
and kind of rolled
that's
after
a crazy
that.
Stat.
I know, right? I was floored when I heard that stat. And then, we didn't even talk about the parade. Did you see the parade yesterday, the boat parade at Tampa?
No, I saw stuff on Twitter, and Tom was just hammered. And, Chris Godwin got his phone thrown in the ocean.
Yes,
all this crazy shit. Yeah.
Scotty Miller threw his phone in the ocean. Tom threw the Lombardi 7.5 yards to Gronk's boat behind him. It was hilarious. He just gave it a nice little toss as his daughter's behind him yelling, "No, Daddy, no."
Yeah, crazy. That looked like he was enjoying himself.
Yes, they got him off the boat and he couldn't stand. My man couldn't stand straight. He tweeted, it was great. He goes, "What? It's just a little avocado tequila," like with the big old letters and stuff. Yeah. I don't blame him. The man doesn't drink during the season, so he probably, he might be a little bit of a lightweight getting in the drinks in. But then again, how lightweight is lightweight? We don't know how much this man's been drinking on the boat or before the boat because they looked ready to roll.
Everything on the ocean hits a little bit different. Everyone knows that. Who's been on a lake, drinking in the sun like that, it hits a little bit different. I was listening to Brooks Koepka. It's kind of interesting. Like when you think about it, you think about these super athletes. Like, oh, they're so much different than us. Are they though? Like when they win something, they're just more like the rest of us.
Yeah, they're just more disciplined and work hard. Work harder or just as hard as people, just in a different aspect. But yeah, they're all partying. I saw, Antoine Winfield Jr. rolled up with the belt. He had the championship belt and he had a bottle of Crown with him.
My man.
He just had the Crown Royal bag. I'm like, he's ready to roll. Mike Evans, obviously, and Gronk. That was probably the most fun boat ever. Like, because it looked like Brady was him. Brady was like with 2 of his boys and like his kids and stuff, and it wasn't kind of like thing. The boat, it was like Gronk, Godwin, Mike. It was like the receiver tight end boat, and they were full of girls and stuff, and they were losing their goddamn minds. I'm like, everyone needs to do boat parades now. I'm not about the riding down the city in a Greyhound bus, worrying about falling off the top of a bus. We need boat parades everywhere.
Yeah, just figure it out, like flood the roads or something.
Get on the frozen lake somewhere in a cold weather place.
Tampa Bay's got to be loving it right now, by the way, huh? The city
of
Series appearance. Yeah,
they were in every. I mean, Florida was in everything. I guess they don't have a basketball team, but Miami was in the finals. They had the Rays in the World Series. They had the Lightning win the Cup, and that's where they got the boat parade idea from. The Lightning apparently said, like, "Hey, we did a boat parade. It was kind of fun."
It's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Bunch
good
of
for them.
Yeah, good for them.
Saying Gronk. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, party Gronk. It's too much to handle sometimes. Party Gronk, no shirt on, doing crazy dance moves. He's the guy. Did I tell you? I told you the story. A guy was at our Super Bowl party. He said a story. He's like, "Yeah, I was in Miami one time. I met Gronk." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I was in the bathroom and like some security guard came up behind me and behind me in the urinal. I was like, huh?" And I kind of looked over. I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" And then after, like, I was washing my hands. Like, "Are you?" It was Gronk, and he goes, "Are you who I think you are?" And he goes, dead ass. Gronk turned and looked at me. He goes, "I am who you think I am." Like, started licking his tongue out or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, that is so Gronk. And he was like, I was so shook. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my God, that's an amazing story.
That's great. That's not surprising, at least. Someone was, I forgot who I was listening to, they said it wouldn't surprise me if, it was Barstool.
Ugh.
They were talking about if someone handed Gronk a sword and a pirate hat and they just sailed out to the ocean. He's like, I guess we're pirates now. And they'd just be okay with it. Like, he would just be like, cool.
We're actual buccaneers. I guess we're going to have to, plunder and pillage over here. We're going to have to find some booty.
Someone said he'd be so down.
Hey, man.
That's great.
Oh my God, I need that. I need that in my life. I need Pirate Gronk now, riding around with a pirate hat and a sword. Be like, "Arr, mateys."
Nice little edit would be hilarious.
Yes, we get on it, Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's gonna do it for us this week. Remember, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast, and we'll see y'all next week.